Welcome to the channel. My name is Dani Walker. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about how Thailand can win the Miss Universe title. If you enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing and hitting the notifications bell. In 2020, I created a similar episode all about how India could win the Miss Universe title. I had been watching India get better and better and grow for the past several years, and they were one of the countries that I thought had great potential to win Miss Universe. After that episode, Adeline placed in the top 5, and then of course, this past year in 2021, Harnaz won the Miss Universe title. So I see potential in quite a few countries, and Thailand is one of them. So I thought it'd be really fun to talk about what they could do to change their game plan to capture that Miss Universe title. First, I want to talk about what they're doing really right. I think that their queens never look like they have a hair out of place. The wardrobe, the hair, the makeup, the styling is all there. We've seen incredible preparation for these queens leading up to Miss Universe for the past several years. So I feel like in terms of that is not where they struggle at all. These queens have great access to incredible sponsors, brands, stylists, hair and makeup artists, you name it. They got that down. Now let's talk about their walk. I think that Miss Universe Thailand's walk from year to year is good enough for semi-final placements. Sometimes they have walkers that are very, very strong. Sometimes they have ones that I think need more work before hitting the Miss Universe stage. But regardless of that, I mean, they're still meeting this standard that I think qualifies them for at least a semi-final placement year after year after year. So as long as they keep working with their title holders on their walk leading up to Miss Universe, I think they are going to be fine for upcoming years. The area where I think needs to be improved, though, that I think is going to take them to the next level is communication. And if you follow the pageant, you're going to say, okay, yes, we already know this. But that's why I created this episode. I want to discuss what you can do to improve a contestant's communication skills, meaning her interview skills and her public speaking skills, how she is on camera, all of those things. So the big question is, how do you improve communication skills? Well, with practice, like with anything else. But the practice has to have purpose. Since we don't know who's going to win the next title, the first thing I want to talk about is that most of the recent Miss Universe Thailand winners speak English fluently. And if that's the case with the next queen, no problem. She's pretty much ready to go for Miss Universe in that sense. If they crown a queen this year that does not speak English fluently, I do think it's important for the Miss Universe competition, and it would serve a title holder well to practice English prior to the competition. This is something that France does for their contestants if their new title holder doesn't speak English fluently. Now, it's not a requirement to speak English to compete at Miss Universe, but since the organizers are American and the pageant is going to be held in English, it can help a title holder progress through the competition and help her just to remain aware and understand what's going on around her. She'll understand context of questions more in any media interviews, press interviews, in the interview room itself, or even for onstage question. Regardless of whether or not she uses a translator, it's just nice to be able to understand more while you're competing. So it's an asset. So if indeed they do crown, like I said, a title holder that doesn't speak English fluently, then one of the ways that they can help to prepare her is English lessons so that she can feel really confident and more comfortable at the pageant. Next, let's talk about interview. Clearly, in recent years, Miss Universe Thailand title holders have been getting through that interview competition because they've been moving on to the semifinals or top 5, whatever it is, depending on that year. But can we always improve interview? Yes. So I think that an essential part of prep is branding and figuring out what a specific title holder's messaging is. And you can work on this first, develop that, and then look for interview opportunities within her country. So any press and media interviews are going to be really helpful with this. It's going to make her a lot more comfortable with sharing what she will later share at Miss Universe. And so that's a great place to test what's your branding, what's your messaging, answering common questions. You don't improve at interview by shying away from those opportunities. So as long as they're leaning into those things, it's going to help their title holder prepare for the interview competition, yes, but also some of the skills that we use in interview are crossover skills that can actually help you for an onstage question as well. If you agree with what I'm saying in this episode, I want to hear from you. Comment crown below. Another communication skill that can be challenging is on-camera communication. So it's important that their title holders are having interview opportunities or media opportunities where they're actually in front of a camera. But in addition to that, you can get more comfortable speaking on camera by speaking on camera. I can attest to this. When I started my YouTube channel, I felt really awkward and uncomfortable filming myself sitting there talking just to a camera, not having an actual conversation with a person. But the reason I think the on-camera communication skills are increasingly important is because of social media. So whenever there's that opportunity to submit video clips to the organization that might be used on the Miss Universe YouTube channel, or to do possibly an Instagram takeover, all of those things, it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people to just speak like they're talking to a friend on camera. So I think the on-camera preparation is something that's also just as important as the actual interview preparation. When you place an emphasis on being comfortable on camera, then a title holder is not only just able to share her messaging and her brand and all of her talking points, but she'll have reached the point where she can incorporate personality. And that personality is what's gonna put you over the top. In many cases with judges, you don't just want to hear a perfect answer from a title holder, but you want to see that she's a likable person, a person that others can relate to. Speaking of interview, if you want to learn how to create a personal brand for your next interview, then click the description below where you can learn more about rehearsed to relatable. The last hurdle they need to get over is public speaking, and this could be used in a number of different ways. In recent years, we've seen title holders get the opportunity to share an introduction. Sometimes they're interacting with the host. Of course, there's the onstage question for either a top 6, 5, or a final word for a top 3. There's different ways that you're going to be using those public speaking skills. Public speaking is often a challenge for many people because even though you may be sharing the exact same thing that you would share in that one-on-one interview, the pressure from being on stage, having thousands of people looking at you and knowing millions of people at home are watching you, you feel this added sense of pressure. It can make your mind blank out on stage. Adding those nerves in there doesn't help any of us to think very clearly when we're on stage. So that is why a queen has to be so comfortable with public speaking way before she gets to Miss Universe. So one of the easiest ways to do this for title holders in a really low pressure situation is by first starting speaking to kids at school. Kids are not going to be quite as harsh of a judge on public speaking as a room full of adults would, like if you were a keynote speaker for something. So I feel like speaking to kids is one of the best ways that a title holder can prepare to start getting comfortable with public speaking. And then of course, you're going to want to start incorporating other appearances prior to the pageant that'll have more pressure on them. Like if you helped deliver some speech within your city or your region and you were partnering with other government officials and you had to present a speech about whatever it is that you're advocating for. Obviously, those types of situations can be a little bit more high pressure, or maybe you're delivering even a fundraising speech for an organization that you work with. And the purpose is you're going to share your story and hopefully people are going to feel great about donating to the cause that you're encouraging them to donate to. So there's multiple ways that you can incorporate public speaking practice, but I really feel like that would be the game changer for them. I think that is how Thailand gets a Miss Universe. Those are my ideas for Thailand. If you have others, leave them in the comments below, but remember to be kind. And if you love Miss Universe content, then you can check out this playlist that I've linked right here or another recent Miss Universe episode. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.